Well, BeamNG just released the 0.32 update, and now I will tell you the most important and interesting things about this update. First of all, this is a remaster of the familiar Ibishu 200BX. It now has a co-op and hatchback modes. The difference between them you can see now on the screen. It should also be said that as with any car remaster, the 200BX received new interior and exterior materials, more detail, for example, the Ibishu power bus. Yes, there are many car configurations here and they are quite interesting. For example, the street-tuned version has such an interesting inscription: Eat, Sleep, 200BX. And now for the most interesting part. What configurations can I create for our test with this interesting... Блин, что за фигня? And now for the most interesting part. What configurations can I create for our test with this car? And I was very pleased to see that this car now has a V8 engine. Previously there were only 4-cylinder engines with a small capacity. Now there is something to experiment with. I already have one idea, wait for the video on Saturday, as always. Let's continue with the update. Now we have the locks. They are interesting, they have good physics, they can be thrown at cars can run over them, and they also can be thrown into the water. And they float. You know, physics. I wonder if they can hold the car. Yes, they can. Also, if we have locks, we have to transport them somehow. And for this purpose, we now have a special truck. I think there will be many interesting accidents with it. Also, this truck has new sounds of opening and closing doors. Speaking of new trailers, I want to highlight this one. It has a rather poorly optimized model, namely, I think the problem is in the chains. And near it my frames per second drops from 60 to 40. Now let's move on to a new and rather interesting technology. This is cinematic crashes. You need to enable it separately in the settings, as I showed in the video. It works like this. When your car crashes into something at high speed and is severely deformed, this camera will show it from a beautiful angle and in slow motion. Also, several new locations have been added to the West Coast USA map. As we can see, the developers are working very hard on it, because it is in career mode. But I'm curious about something else. Have they fixed this bug? Nope, they didn't. Also, the steering wheel force feedback system has been updated quite nicely. Now it feels different depending on the tires and the road surface. Well, that was the most important things from the 0.32 update. There are a bunch of other small updates, but I will talk about them later. BeamNG is still a masterpiece. I love this game.